Mom over here. In this video, we proceed to the second part of our module, which is the introduction of the formula. I will go over some practice problems, but when we return on site, we'll try to have some more practice problems for you guys to solve. Alright, without further ado, let's go over two terms that you will be encountering when we talk about word problems in physics. We have the speed and velocity. What's the difference between the two? Now, the first concept, speed, it is defined as the measure of how fast an object moves. Now, speed is made up of two concepts. You have distance and the time. When we say distance, this is the space or the measured space where the speed or the motion is occurring. And then you also have the time, the length or period that took the object to cover that particular distance, or the time it took for the motion to occur. Speed is simply summarized as speed is equal to distance over time, or distance divided by time. So the average speed is signified by the letter S. The small d represents the distance traveled of the object in motion, and the time is the time taken to cover the distance. So this will be our basic formula. The speed is equal to distance over time, and we will simply manipulate it depending on the values needed. So for example, if the speed is missing or the distance is missing instead, then we will just manipulate this formula in order to get the missing value. Now, the SI unit for speed and velocity is always meter per second, or m over s, as shown here on our slide. Now, this is the standard SI unit, but sometimes, depending on the given, you might have a different unit, so be very careful with the unit being used, and sometimes you might need to convert the unit used in the question depending on what is asked by the word problem. So let's try answering this small question. This small word problem. To avoid getting late on exam, you ran and covered a distance of 100 meters in 10 seconds. What was your speed while running? Now that is a very fast sprint, but to keep ideas simple, we'll just go over the detail with this values. So remember that the formula for speed is equal to distance over time. Now, the values here are simply given. The distance is 100 meters. So we'll write 100 meters. And the time it took for the person to accomplish that distance or to cover that distance is 10 seconds. So the answer would be 10 meter per second. Simply that. Now, again, do not forget to follow the correct units as given in the word problem. Now, what's the difference of speed and velocity? In word problems, they can be interchanged. However, remember that velocity is a scalar measure. So meaning there is a direction of the motion. So earlier when we said 10 meter per second, there is no directed motion or direction if it's east, west, up, or down. It simply said 10 meter per second. So when we talk about velocity, we already have a given direction. So if we have a formula for velocity, it's actually pretty much the same as that of speed. So velocity is equal to the displacement over time. So pretty much the same. When we say displacement, this could also be the distance that it covered or the displacement of the object because of motion, displacement in space due to motion, and the time it took for the displacement to occur is the time interval. So it's pretty much the same. The formula for velocity and time is the same. However, the only difference would be the vector quantity or the change in the inclusion of the direction. So here, for example, a car traveling at 100 kilometers per hour east and another car traveling at 100 kilometers per hour west have the same speed but different velocities. So in terms of speed, they are both traveling at 100 kilometers per hour, but the other one is traveling west and the other one is traveling east. Therefore, they have different vectors. So again, both cars have the same speed, but different in terms of their velocity. Okay, so that's the difference between speed and velocity. Now, how about acceleration? Acceleration is defined as the velocity of an object that is changing through time. So of course, on Earth, the velocity of an object is seldom maintained due to factors. So for example, when you're driving a car, your velocity is not always constant because you have to stop at traffic lights, pedestrians, and if there are potholes on the road, of course you would want to change your velocity. So in that, we measure the change in velocity through acceleration. So acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity with time. Now, if you take a look at the formula, these are two formulas, but they're basically saying the same. When we say change, this is often signified by a triangle. So change in velocity. So again, the triangle is the symbol for change. Change in velocity over change in time. Now, this formula measures 2 points of velocity. Velocity 1, so this is the initial velocity, and then velocity 2 are the second velocity, and over time 1 and time 2. So basically, with the interval of how fast the velocity change has occurred. That is acceleration, and it is measured by meter per second squared. So remember, our formula for acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second squared. It's not 9.8 meter per second only because we are talking about acceleration. Alright, so let's try to compute some word problems. First, a girl travels 20 miles on her bicycle. The trip takes 2 hours. Express her speed in miles per hour. So this is very simple. The girl travels 20 miles on her bicycle. So 20 miles is already here, the distance. So we are defining the given. And then the provided time is 2 hours. So simply put, the formula would be speed over distance and time. Speed is equal to distance over time. The given is 20 miles per hour. And then the time is 2 hours. Miles, by the way, is mi, not meter, m. So we symbolize it as mi. And then 2 hours. Okay. And then we simply have 10 miles per hour as their speed. Now let's check if we are correct. So the distance given is 20 miles, the time is 2 hours. We place the variable in the correct position in the formula, so 20 miles over 2 hours. And then as per computation, that's 10 miles per hour. Now, in some cases, the questions or the variables may not be as simple as this, but don't worry, you can bring your calculators whenever we will practice and have assessments. And during the exam, yes, please bring your calculators because you're going to need it. But if you are confident to manual compute, I will support you in your endeavors. So that's simply put. So the answer is 10 miles per hour. Now, if ever you need to compute this by meter per second, because that's the required if you want to follow the SI unit, you simply compute 20 miles per first into meter, then compute this into seconds, and then plug it in the formula. That's all you need to do if you need it in meter per second. So for example, 20 miles into meters is actually 32,000. So let's try to write that. 32,186 86.88. Sorry, I'm writing with my mouse. It's not the best. 32,186.88 meters. And then that will be your distance instead of miles because we're trying to get meter per second to follow the SI units. And then if you need to compute 2 hours to seconds, that's equivalent to 7,200 seconds. Now, how shall we do this then? Well, simply replace the values. So it will be distance over time. So 32,186.88 divided by 7,200 seconds. The answer would be 4.47. So remember to follow 2 decimal places. 4.47 meters per second. Okay, so that's if you need to convert. But in our given, we only need the miles per hour. Okay. But that's just an extra tidbit on how to compute if conversion is needed. Now let's try a second example. A car starts from a stoplight and is traveling with a velocity of 10 meters per second east in 20 seconds. What is the acceleration of the car? Now, take note, you need acceleration here. So remember that the formula of acceleration is equal to change in velocity over change in time. Now, it's common type of questioning that you start from rest and then in motion. Now, what are the given? First, the car is at a stoplight. So, if a car is at a stoplight, then it's literally at rest or at stop. So, this will be our velocity 1. And since this is the velocity 1 or the beginning, and it's just in stop, the time 1 will be equal to 0. Okay, so velocity 1 is minus velocity 1 is 0 meters per second because it's simply stopping, and this, since this is the starting point, we have speed. Okay, and then the second velocity, so from a stoplight, it started to move at 10 meters per second. So this is our velocity 2. And it covered the particular distance at 20 seconds. So velocity 2 is 10 meters per second. And then 20 seconds is the time 2. Okay, now you simply proceed with a subtraction. So since both ends are both values of velocity 1 and 2 are 0, so you only have 10 meters per second over 20 seconds. Your change in velocity or acceleration is 10 divided by 20. So I'm bringing out my calculator, and I hope you are too. 10 divided by 20 is equal to 0.5. Okay, 0.5, and then you take a look at the values over here. You have 1 meter, and then you have 2 values of seconds, so that's squared. Okay, so your acceleration is 0.5 meters per second squared. Let's check if we are correct. And there we go, we are. So the value is 0.5 meter per second squared. Again, the car is at a stoplight at zero value because it's at rest. It's not moving at all. Then time 1 is 0 because that's our starting point. And then our velocity 2 was 10 meter per second squared. And time 2 is 20 seconds because that's how the time it took for the car to cover the distance given at the 10 meter per second. Then you simply follow the acceleration formula and you will get 0.5 meter per second squared. So this last part is a simple discussion on how to visually represent the values that we have been discussing so far. So for example, here we are showing speed in its various representations. Now, how do we show changes in speed? Of course, you have to have your distance at the y-axis. So here is 0, of course. And the more distance being traveled, we go up and up. Time here is represented by the x-axis, where 0 is here and more time is elapsing as we go further through the x-axis. So we can see, for example, here, this curved green line shows that there is an increase of distance being covered as time is progressing, and there's a curve, so that means the object is moving faster. Here, the distance is steady, time is steady, so the speed is constant. Well, sometimes the speed could also fluctuate like this, represented by the pink line. Alright, so for example, a bus is moving at 50 meters per second. So how do we visually represent this? So 50 meters is being covered per second. Is that shown here? Yes. So here in our distance graph on the left, it is divided by the amount of our increments of 50. So 50, 100, 150, 200, then 250. So in the x-axis, you will have per second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So according to the description, the bus A is traveling at 50 meters per second. So 1 second, you have 50 meters. At 2 seconds, you have 100. 3 seconds, you have 150 at a constant rate. So on and so forth. On the other hand, bus B travels a constant speed of 100 meters per second. So it's pretty much the same, but instead of rising 50 meters at a time per second, it now rises at 100 meters, so resulting at a steeper line. So here you will see at 1 second, it's at 100. After 2 seconds, it's at 200 because it's 100 meters per second. So we can project that after 3 seconds, it will now be at 300 meters. Bus C, on the other hand, is accelerating because the speed is not constant, but there is a curve. So meaning at certain time intervals, there is a difference of how much distance is being covered by the bus, leading to an upward curve. Here you will see that the object is remaining at rest because it covered at first 50 meters, and then that's it. It did not move anymore. So the same distance as time progresses shows that the item or the object is at rest. We could also show acceleration through velocity time graphs, and the interpretations are the same as we have mentioned earlier. Here you will see velocity at the x, or rather y-axis, and time at the x-axis. So remember, time is always at the x-axis. So you will see here bus E, bus F, bus G, and bus H at different variations. But remember, we are interpreting this in terms of acceleration now, with velocity and time as its factors. So at bus E, the acceleration is uniform at 5 meters per second, because you will see that the distance or the velocity per second is the same. It's always at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, covering the increments of 5 meters per second in terms of velocity. So acceleration is the same for this particular object. For bus F, you will see that the acceleration is increasing, okay, because of the upward curve, meaning the velocity is no longer constant. Instead of creating a straight line, it created a curve. It could also create a downward curve if the rate of acceleration is decreasing or there is deceleration occurring. And finally, the object can also have a constant speed of 20 meters per second, meaning the velocity is constant and there is no acceleration. So As time progresses, the object maintains 20 meters per second, and then time is progressing, but there is no upward movement, meaning acceleration is absent. Right, so that's all my slides for the development of motion. Please look forward to our, or prepare as well for our sample computations. I will provide some examples in the slides, so try practicing or solving that on your own. And then I will make a worksheet available so you can try practicing that. I'll give the deadline when we meet face to face. Thanks everyone. See you.